Welcome back to Train, or ECS, whichever one you want to see. We are going into our third map in a row of Train, fourth of the night, and, well, this time we not really looking at the underdogs. We're looking at some of the teams that could be right near the top. We got Liquid, they're currently 4-4. Immortals, well, they did quite well today so far. I do think it's a different caliber altogether, though, in terms of complexity that the team we expect to be near the bottom. Immortals, they're going to be fighting, hopefully, for the top, but so far it's been their Brazilian brothers, SK, who are right up there, and of course, I think Cloud9 and Optic.
Yeah, I mean, I think actually, as Dust said earlier on, we've seen some of the bottom of the barrel, and now we're seeing some of the teams that are rising to the top, like a weird piece of something that's dead in your drink that just shouldn't be there. It's going to be Liquid versus Immortals on Train, first map of the night. And, well, it's going to be all good. We've seen a lot of Train tonight, so it's going to be exciting to see what these two higher caliber teams can bring in terms of their strategy. Yeah, exactly, we can. Yeah, so it's going to be good to see what these two higher caliber teams can bring to the table, whether there's going to be any groundbreaking new strategies or new changes to the meta, whether that's a Bison on the pistol round, who knows. But
Bison on the pistol, I think that's called cheating.
Oh, no, not pistol. Oh, yeah.
that is
I meant
just
eco
called
round.
cheating.
Yeah, no. Oh.
Yeah, I want a Bison in the pistol round.
I would love a Bison in the pistol round. Yeah, that'd be ideal.
Just
yeah,
more add-ons. You can just buy it, you know?
Yeah,
just
no.
like use your cash. Valve,
all the players are in this server, so we should be getting this underway sooner rather than later. But yeah, no, we had a brief talk about with Dust about his opinions on the matchup. Tom, you didn't really get a chance to express yourself, and you love expressing yourself.
I sound a bit camp. I love to express myself. Yeah. No, we look towards talented players. I think the AWP battle is something that really going to excite me because Henny, well, he hasn't shown up too much today. I think he was great. If you just got off the camp thing, you can't carry on. He hasn't shown up too much today. I think he was decent on Train, but it was actually Phelps who was really the... Orpa was actually more prominent. Really? Still carried this on. JDM as well, when we saw him yesterday, wasn't someone... Yeah, guys, I'm just going to talk to you. JDM wasn't someone who really picked up too well, I think, when we saw him in the previous matchup. So maybe if he's not on point there, we'll be a sort of better position. I'm going to go in a minute. But, yeah, no, I definitely think it's going to be an interesting matchup.
What's happening?
Okay, so we have lost Harry, guys.
Okay, right.
We have completely lost Harry.
It's just when you said you're a big camp, it's just because like the lack of hair thing as well. Oh, I just can't
Why
deal with
does
it.
lack of hair mean I'm camp?
I don't know. It just... Oh, okay, right. Yeah, so the ninth round is going to be well and truly underway. I'm hoping potentially we could get engaged to that.
Just to cut off of this mess cut off your face. There we go. Thank you, production. Thank you, Reese. He's just been saved. And, yeah, no, this is going to go, of course... We want to see whoever's on the CT side going to get that start, and well, this is going to be a great game. I feel the teams themselves, the players individually, very, very talented. You sort of have the almost dad-like player on each side. You got Zeus and Hiko, so it's almost like they match each other quite well. I do have to say, in terms of like talented players, I'm a big fan of the Brazilians, but you look at sort of NA at the moment, and we've already spoke about this sort of idea yesterday when we were talking about switching out players, and you were looking at this sort of against NRG. You were saying, well, who would you actually switch out on Liquid? And that's where things became a little bit difficult. I do feel like Pimp as well on Dust 2 was very, very quiet. And of course, I think NRG, they actually went on to win that one, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe they did actually, yes. So, well, regardless, we are going to be going now into the pistol round. I feel like it's a good time to focus on the game at hand. Yeah, I have stopped... just embracing my inner like schoolgirl or whatever that was. I don't know, anime jokes, something like that. It's gonna be armor almost across the board entirely for Liquid. They do have the diffuse kit up on Hiko as you would expect, and a smoke as well for him to be able to just try and delay pushes as they come. And that's gonna be him in towards the B site, which you know, we normally see teams hit straight off the bat, but this time Immortals are gonna take things a little bit more slowly. They spread out, try to grab map control early on. And, well, now looking like they want to try and make something happen in towards A. Two players down in Pop Dog, two in towards A main, and that's going to be backed up, of course, by Henny once he throws his flash into the site. It's going to allow them to start to make their way out, and the push is underway. Smoke lands as well. Leash going to be the first to fall as he finds the ball. He's going to be going down. They have to try and play this now with a one-man disadvantage. Nitro, quick to equalize things out, and JDM chiming in with one of his own, going to be able to put it back into a 3-on-3. Helps flagging like a madman, finds two frags, finds a third. And Electro does fall. Bomb's going to be going down with the man advantage now leading the way of Immortals. It's all on Hiko. And Armorless, naked and afraid. He's going to go down. He did have the kit, but sadly it's not going to be coming into use. As Immortals, they pick up the pistol and leave themselves in a great way to potentially take the first three.
If he's naked, what does he put the kit on?
I don't know. Oh, now I know.
Yeah, of course, just probably holding it. But yeah, we're going to go back into the second round. We do have 4 rifles coming up on the T side. So playing this one relatively safe. Of course, they've got the long-range avenues. And, well, in terms of the CT side, we've got those Deegs. So most of the players are going to go for those long-range Juans.
Yeah, trying to make the Deagles work at range. Of course, Train is a map that lends itself quite well to the Deagle pistol round. Currently, we've got 3 up on Elite Nitro and Pimp. JDM just relegated down to the use, but Hiko trying to make things work with the CZ in hand. On the side of Immortals, they've given a lot of respect to the way of Liquid. It's rifles across the board, with the exception of Bolts, who has got the UMP to try and farm up some cash. Liquid as well, opting to not buy up the armor, does mean, of course, that little does Bolts know he can actually potentially reap some pretty nice dollars out of this one on the back of that extra, 300% kill bonus. And now, Immortals lining up once again in towards this A site, trying to put those rifles to use at longer ranges. Still biding their time, playing things very passively. It's going to be Phelps to start things off. Does take down a leash, and now they're going to be looking to try and find some leeway out on towards A.
And Lucas to grab one more, and already a couple of players drop. They still have most of their upgraded pistols, but as Nitro falls, they lose one more, and it seems to be falling apart a little bit. Maybe Pimp can bring some love for the Deeg at the moment. It doesn't seem to be working out too well, and well, he's going to get pushed by Zeus as well. In terms of the positions for the CT side, it doesn't look like there's going to be any way to get back into the site, and, well, that's not going to help them out at all.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's been completely locked down. They haven't had to take a single gun at the hands of Immortals either. And, well, Pimp and Hiko being the only 2 players left to try and make anything happen. I suppose they are the 2 that you would want in this situation, but Bomb is just going to be ticking away with no kit, no armor, and no utility, with a significant man disadvantage as well, just trying to hide out and towards this B site. Potentially going to pick up some exit frags. Bolt's making his way downtown. Might let us find one onto the Jason Hiko, who's looking like he's been, like he's DC'd potentially, because, you know, I imagine he would have sprung into action a little bit faster at the death of his teammate directly behind him. So yeah, we are seeing a pause coming in from Liquid. I imagine it's going to be a technical, seeing as Hiko, Big Daddy Hiko, as you've nicknamed him,
I did not say Big Daddy.
Well, I mean, I'm fairly sure you did. But, yeah, no, of course, it is going to be a technical pause, sorry, coming in from the side of Liquid. It's going to go 2-0 as Immortals, they pick up
we've lost a second player as well.
Oh, okay. So Henny just taking the time to tab on out. I guess going to go fix something on his end too. It's 2-0 anyway to Immortals. They pick up the pistol and then the anti-eco as well. Only losing 1 player there, so 1 rebuy up on their side, and that's in the form of Bolt, who did lose the UMP, which was probably the one gun they could really afford to expend as we head into this. Hopefully the pause isn't going to be too drastically long though. And, well, I mean, we haven't really seen too much from either side right now to comment on how we think they're going to fare. You know, what is there you could really say?
Phelps had a great pistol.
Yeah, he did have a very good pistol. And I think he's actually had a fairly good track record of having consistently good pistols, which, you know, he looks to continue throughout this one once again.
No, he's looked good so far in the games today. Of course, as you said, it's not really anything to go on. And, well, we just wait to see what will actually come back up. Of course, not really too much to invest for the Liquid side. Now, they did sort of only half invest into that one, so maybe they could buy a pistol or 2 up in this one as well. Some teams do opt to do that rather than going for 1 sort of pistol round. They go for a couple and just basically then buy up anyway. Or they could just opt to go for the complete save and have lots of utility and maybe even a double AWP if they want into the next one. So there's plenty of avenues they can take. Of course, JDM is already set to get the AWP in the next round with the loss bonus coming in. And we've already spoken about the AWP battle, of course. The player likely to be battling with him currently is not in the server, so that makes things a little bit more difficult. It will be Henny, although actually on their CT side at least, Phelps, and actually a little bit on the T side in the last matchup on Train with Complexity, was picking up the AWP as well. It would be Phelps, so maybe we won't see Henny AWPing all the time. It has sort of switched around, and I think that was just because Phelps was actually playing very, very well.
Yeah, no, Phelps was having a standout performance with the AWP. But, you know, Henny, like we say, had fallen off a little bit towards the end of the previous couple of maps. So, yeah, we did see them kind of using Phelps as the primary AWP, making sure Henny had one in his hands whenever they had the money to. But it did seem like more of a priority to be getting it up on Phelps. And that did happen. You know, you saw it slowly transition in throughout Cash, becoming more and more regular, even a little bit maybe on Train as well. But, yeah, it is going to be the case of just waiting for them to get back into the server. I think we are going to be seeing Henny reconnect. His PC crashed, apparently, which is never going to be good. And we're just waiting for Hiko to be restarting his modem, which is all good. So it won't take that long. I mean, 30 seconds is all it's meant to take, but I guess that could be a long way away or something.
Yeah, I think that, well...
I don't know how you're going to carry that on.
Hiko's has always had sort of internet troubles. I think he's always had problems with his provider, so I'm hoping it isn't anything too serious for him. I wonder if he has... I don't know if they actually play in a house together, but because otherwise that would affect all of them, so I guess not. So really waiting to see for him to get back into the server, but I'm hoping it's not anything too problematic and he will be able to get back in, because, well, let's be honest, who are you going to find to replace Hiko?
Yeah, and that's a task indeed. He's an incredible player on the side of Liquid. But, yeah, so something that you were drawing on a little bit, I guess, is the whole conversation between Henny maybe switching out to the rifles a little bit more and seeing the focus on the AWPing full onto Phelps because he was having an unreal game. Currently, I mean, we are already seeing Phelps being, what, 5-1. He had a very good pistol and has found some headshots as well with the rifle in hand on the anti-eco. So, you know, clearly feeling it right now with whatever he kind of has at his disposal. Do you think we might, you know, stand the chance of seeing him falling back into the AWP role, or is a lot of it going to depend on how Henny does at first with the AWP?
I think he has to be a secondary AWPer, just because, although we didn't really see it earlier, Henny is an absolutely phenomenal AWPer. There's no doubt about that. Some of the flicks that he's able to pull off are just ridiculous. So to bench him on the AWP, I don't really think there's any value in that, just because he could have a standout round. And it's not like he had a bad game on train at all. He was second top. The only person above him was Phelps, and most of the time they both had AWPs. So I think you've got to stick Henny on the AWP for sure, and then you sort of, if you have enough money, then yeah, sure, bring up Phelps. But the difference with this one, I think that they're not going to get away with as much on the T side like they did, because obviously it was, what was it, 10-5, I think? They only got 5 rounds, Complexity only got 5 rounds CT side, if I'm correct, and then they got 4 on the T side as well, so it was 9 rounds. It is sort of just one of those things that if you do get 10 rounds, eventually the money does get to a point where you can just afford whatever you want. The likelihood of you being economically down and having a 10-round T side is pretty damn slim, let's be honest, unless you're playing very, very close rounds, which wasn't really the case. They were able to sort of win one, lose one, and then just win something ridiculous like 5 players alive every single time. In fact, that happened on Cash as well, where they were sort of, even the round when things were going badly on the CT side, the 1 rounds they would win were every player standing alive. Now, against Complexity, I think that's almost probable, because they are just a better team. Against Liquid, it should never happen. I think the round should be closer, and so more basically in the most long-winded way ever to get around to answering your question.
It has taken a very long time, but that's all good.
But yeah, getting round to my answer, what I want to say is that
is it so long? Is it so long-winded?
I just don't think there's going to be much of an opportunity. Of course, we have people talking out here. It's not. I'm not just mentally insane. But yeah, no, it's one of those positions where it's whether they can get a second AWP. That's what I'm more alluding to, rather than, oh yeah, no, yeah, we should be switching it between da-da-da-da. That's basically saying, oh yeah, no, it's definitely going to happen where Immortals have a great economy. Because I don't think Liquid will allow them to. I think most rounds we're going to have will be closer, and for them to whitewash, it will have to be on economy breaks, because Liquid are pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, okay. So that is a very valid point. So you're thinking, you know, the reason why they were able to support and finance the double up setup previously was as a result of being able to you know, pick up those rounds against Complexity earlier on, and now you're saying that probably isn't going to be possible. You just said that in a very
I basically wanted to explain myself.
way. Yeah, no, that is fair enough.
Definitely not to do with the pause.
Yeah, but we have been informed, reliably so as well, that Hiko's internet is dead. Rest in peace. 2015 till 2016. I don't know what the date is today. That's what I'm like. What do you know what the date is? Putting you on the spot a bit.
16th, I think.
16th. Yeah, it actually is 16th October.
Wait. Surely you can just
2016.
Shift tab. Actually, it doesn't. It only
but
says the time.
yes, so that is going to be Hiko's internet now. So for the time being, they're looking for a backup apparently, trying to sort that out. But yeah, no, I think that is a valid point. Switching out the whole AWPing stance and saying that because the economy was very, very strong beforehand, they were able to support such a thing, but now they might not. And I think a lot of it is also going to depend on how Henny is fragging straight out of the gate. If he's still having a little bit of a rough patch, you need to have the AWP reliably so on this. And you know, JDM's not someone who's going to go easy on you if you have a
if you're comparing Surreal and JDM, there isn't really much of a comparison. No, I'm not saying you are. Okay. I'm saying that in this sort of form, like you're saying, okay, maybe Henny didn't have that good a game versus Surreal. If you don't have a good game versus JDM, then it's sort of one of those problems. Like you have to sort of think of that idea that JDM overall should be much better. Like, that's not really anything to argue. That's just JDM. He is the primary opper for this team. If he wasn't doing well, they could replace him with somebody else. They're not going to do that, though, because most of the time he is pretty good. Now, you put me on the spot by asking me who I'm going to highlight. Now, I've already highlighted most of the players, but for Liquid at least, we haven't gone into too much detail about Liquid.
Yeah, sure thing.
Out of all the players, who's your... I want to say who's your favorite player. I think that's a better way of putting it. We can get some insight into your personal feelings about Team Liquid.
So, yeah, I mean, I have a few on Team Liquid. No, okay, that feels like I'm taking the easy way out. I
Name one
more specifically, player. No, I have two that I'm interested in for different reasons.
Well, whoever you pick first is going to be the one I'm assuming you like the most.
Okay, well then in that case, he doesn't necessarily frag the best, but he can be a huge influence, and it's going to be a Liege. It's probably mine, just because it's
depends what tournament. Sometimes he can frag.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
best,
definitely.
Majors.
And I remember speaking about him the other day, saying that I remember, when he first came in with Elevate, like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now, and he completely kind of blew all these other teams out the water, sometimes on just a singular performance. And he's kind of one of the players who, from that original core team, has gone on to kind of actually continue and make some waves within the pro scene of North America. You have seen a few of the others. Oh, I can't actually remember any of his teammates because it was so long ago, and the team didn't really accomplish much either. But so
well, hence they're not around anymore.
Yeah, it is dead.
Rip Elevate.
Yeah. But that's why he's always been a kind of favourite of mine. He started off in this team that was very, very small, as you would expect. And so he's been able to kind of move on from there, keep going. And now we see him in Liquid. He posts very competitive scorelines. He's quite young as well, in all honesty. I believe he's something like...
We've always spoken about the sort of Nitro Liege combo as being a deadly combo in NA. And it did sort of carry over to the majors as well. That seems to be where they just come out and shine. So it is great stuff from them. I do think, especially with Nitro recently, he has sort of been in-game leading, and that's why we have seen a bit of a fall-off. And I think Thorin was making a joke about it, the sort of switch of Liquid. It always is like Nitro goes up, he in-games leads, he goes down, then he stops in-game leading, he goes back up again, and it's just an almost inevitable cycle of constantly going up and down and up and down, and then they switch it out and somebody else will take the hit. I think Hiko might be in-game leading at the moment, which is a very big problem considering I think he's not coming back.
Yeah, no, it does not look good for him. The odds not in his favour, sadly.
So who's the second player?
What, for the...
You said you had two.
Hiko, obviously, would be my choice as my second number two.
Well, you say obviously, but
okay,
who would you not name in this team that's a pretty solid player?
There's a lot of strong performers in there. JDM as well with the AWP.
Are you just going to name everyone else?
Yeah, pretty much. Nitro has always been a good... No, I'm not.
Don't forget Pimp. We actually haven't said Pimp name once. No. I like him just because he managed to get the name Pimp and just rolled with it. And it does, like, you look at him and you think, the first word that doesn't come to my head is Pimp, but you know what? Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, speaking of player names who managed to just slip under the radar as being, ones that really should... There's a player by the name of Fuchs, who I'm saying it, in the way that you're...
Careful.
Yeah, in the way that you're meant to say if you...
Well, I was a bit worried about Shuz in the last game.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there are just a few names like that where if you read them out phonetically, they're pretty horrible.
You have to be a little bit careful with those.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's always interesting to see that, just the kind of player names that can slip under the radars being pretty horrific.
Well, I'm back to...
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Rather than just moving on to names, which is always nice. I think my name is as terrible as any, because it's just a combination of my first, last name, but switch to Z's for edginess. Or Z's, I suppose. And, back to Pimp. As an addition to this team, I think he's got big boots to fill. Let's put it that way. Simple, of course, was the one to exit, and I don't think he's ever... the thing is, he's a talented player, but he's not Simple. He will. I don't think he could ever be Simple, because Simple is sort of someone challenging to be maybe even the best player at some point, because he is just constantly getting better and better and has those explosive games in big games as well. It's normally when he's on a stage, when he's in a tough situation, that Simple can just come out and show you exactly what he's got. And whether Pimp can ever get to that, I think there were points. I don't think he's ever been as good as Simple. I'm not going to make that comparison because that would be a bit ridiculous. But he has had points in his career when he's been very, very good and a talent for sure. But it's just the boots to fill. I wonder if they can sort of maneuver their team where they're not basically going, hey, Simple, can you win us a game?
Yeah, no. I mean, filling things is always going to be difficult, as you and I are discovering very quickly. But no, in all seriousness, we are just going to be waiting, like we say, for the internet situation to be sorted, presuming that Hiko isn't coming back. But I mean, I guess we'll be waiting for some more confirmation on that. I imagine Liquid have someone they can call upon in this situation to try and fill the boots of,
who are you going to call?
Of Hiko. Yeah, who are you going to call? That's the thing.
I genuinely don't know.
You think it's difficult to fill Simple's boots? Imagine, you know, now being told that, oh, yeah, no, we have a game versus Immortals. Can you fill Hiko's boots? I mean, I can't think of anyone.
Yeah, especially as I imagine there is a rule in this where you can't choose players from other teams. Because I don't know why they'd want to help out anyway. Hey, do you want to help Liquid get some more points in the league?
I mean, well, it depends who you ask. Like,
I feel like most players would. I feel like there has to be a rule, but at the same time, I feel like most players would still probably be like, it would be basically a conflict of interest. Like they would kind of in a way want to lose just to make sure that they get the spot. So it wouldn't make any sense for them to stand in. Now it looks like we have